Coach, wasn't an off week. We've established that. Was an open week or a bye week. Talk about what entails inside of an open week for your team.
Well, I think, number one, it was an opportunity for our coaches to get out on the road and recruit. Secondly, I think it was all the young men who have played a lot of snaps this year. It was an opportunity for them to kind of step back and take a deep breath and, take care of their body. It gets to be a little bit of a grind coming all the way through fall camp and then 8 straight weeks. So it was much needed for our players to be able to try to get their bodies back a little bit. And then for other young men on our team, I think it was a great opportunity for those guys to get out and get some extra reps and, just to provide depth and find out, who are guys in the final stretch run that can come out and help us, try to win a championship.
And timing of it, pretty good. You only got a couple games left. In fact, you're able to get some much-needed rest, especially with this last important stretch of the year. Talk about that.
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity to just kind of step back because you kind of get into a routine weekly and you really just focus on preparing for the game. And I think it's a great opportunity to look at, what are we doing well, what are we not doing so well, what are things we need to do more of, what are things we need to do less of. So we took a hard look at ourselves and then, and then take a peek forward toward the upcoming opponent. We don't spend a lot of time on that. We really focus on us and just trying to get ourselves healthy and trying to get, for the final stretch run to just be able to make sure that what we're doing are things that we can do and execute well.
And coming into this week, not just your team, but every team seems to have that fear of starting off slow coming off of a bye week. You get a week to rest. How's your good team going to respond? What kind of concerns does that bring for you guys and the coaching staff, especially because you've had a few slow starts to start the year that we've talked about?
Yeah, I think we really don't focus on, starting slow. I mean, I think the biggest thing is you always want to come out of the gate. I don't know that the bye week has anything to really do with that. We've had a schedule that we use probably for about the last 10 years, and it's been very productive for us to be able to, again, I think just getting guys fresh and the weather seems to change about this time of year, and it's like the guys, it's like a horse who sees the barn, and I think that's kind of where we are as a team.
And talk about you guys are home right off of a bye week. That's kind of nice that you're able to stay here, stay in that routine, not have to worry about travel. Kind of talk about how nice it is to be back home, especially on COVID.
Yeah, I think we probably, in my 3 years here, I think we've probably played our best 2 games at home, the last against Central Arkansas and Eastern Kentucky. That's a positive, and more importantly, I mean, we have 19 seniors that we're going to recognize on Saturday. It'll be their last opportunity to play here at Wildcat Stadium this season, and regular scheduled games. And so I think that it's important to be able to the message I sent to our team last night was it's about playing and honoring those guys. I mean, I think 10 of the 19 have been here for 3 years, so they came in at the same time I did, or they were already here. So we want to play well, and we want to send those guys out here because one of the things that I told them, I said, if you choose to stay here, it's going to be one of the best decisions you've made in your life. We set a goal to go undefeated every year at home, and when you look at it, with a win on Saturday, we'll be 11-4 in 3 years at home, with 4 losses coming at 1 point, 3 points, 3 points, and 7 points. So they've had a tremendous career, and we want to send these guys out of here on Senior Day winners.
And if I butcher this, I'm sorry. We're playing Southern Utah Saturday. Okay. Have you guys looked ahead that far, or you got to do that? What do you know about Southern Utah? It's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, they're a very well coached football team. Have great respect for them. They've had a very tough schedule, so their record is really not indicative of what type team they are. I think they were picked 3rd in the preseason poll, so got a lot of returning players back, guys that have played a lot of football for them up front on the offensive line, and got one of the best running backs in the league, and they play very sound defensively, very opportunistic, taking the ball away from the opponent. So, it's going to be a game much like Central Arkansas, much like Eastern Kentucky. Everyone in this league on any given Saturday can beat someone else, and we have nothing but respect for them and what they've done as a program as well.
And after a week of not taking the field during a game, just how Saturday you get to get it back on Saturday.
Yeah, it's all you only get 12 opportunities in football. So if you can't get excited every Saturday, you might want to change sports. I mean, you only get to do it one time a week, and you spend all that time in the winter and summer and fall camp trying to train for just 12 opportunities to hopefully to be able to get to play one more.
So you've said every week, every game's important, and as the year goes on, the bigger the games get. Tell me about the significance of this game coming up against Southern Utah, and what would it mean for this team to come out with the win?
Well, we're obviously in control of our own destiny in conference play with 3 games to play. Not many people can say that across the country right now. So it's big in that fact that 1, it's a home game. 2, it's senior day. 3, it's a conference game. So there's a lot to play for, and we're in control of our own destiny. And if you win, then next week's game is the biggest game of the year. If you win that game, then your final conference game is the biggest game of the year. And that's what you want. I mean, ever since I came here, we had talked about if you win at home and then you can go on the road and play well on the road, you're going to position yourself for meaningful football in the month of November. Well, here we are. It's getting close to November, and we're right in the middle of the conference race and in control of the outcome, and we just got to take care of business. And really, you can't focus on the outcome. You have to focus on the process, the things that it takes to win the games. And that's hard to do because so many people, and through social media, I mean, everything is about everything else but winning. And it has to be just the process and what it takes to win a football game.
And with this open week, you've had a chance to take an extended look at Southern Utah. What are some things about them that have jumped out to you?
Yeah, I mean, in their last 4 games, they've ran 313 plays, and 170 of them have been run plays. They're going to run the football, and they run it anyway. So that's a sign of a good team. It's going to be, and then they're sneaky. Because they established the run, they hit people on top of the head with play action shots, and you got to be able to control. They got 2 really good wide receivers, and that they try to get the ball to, and we just got to make sure that we stop the run. But then you got to be sound vertical in coverage. If you can try to make them one-dimensional, I think that's where we're a little bit different than some of the other conference opponents. Our offense, they put a lot of pressure on opposing teams just by knowing that if we ever get into a rhythm offensively, we're hard to stop. So it's about getting the ball back to our offense and letting those guys get into a rhythm and try to make people play from behind.
And during this open week, you had some time to, reflect on, the whole season so far. Now we're at this point in the season. It's, about to be senior day, one of the final, home games. What are the goals you'd say you have for this team, and how do you think you can accomplish those goals?
Yeah, it's really, we don't change our goals. Our goals are we want to go undefeated at home. We got beat by Idaho. So we recalibrated and said, okay, we're going to go 4-1 at home. So that's what Saturday is all about. If we win Saturday, we'll be 4-1 at home. It'll be our best home record, I believe, since year 1. I think we went 4-1 my first year here at home. So that's obviously one of our goals. And then if we do that, now we're down to 2 conference football games, and we're going to be right at the very top of the conference, and with 2 games to play. And next week will be the biggest game of the year. So you got to go on the road, and you win that one. Then guess what? You come back in the next to last game of the season. It's the biggest game of the year. So it's just the way it is in November. Games are very meaningful, everything, but our goals don't change. We want to go undefeated at home. Well, that's not a reality, but we can go 4-1 at home. Like I said, we'll send this senior group out of here 11-4 at home. it's been a while since that's been done here. So that's something that our seniors are very proud of, and it means a lot to them. And you just want to win your last game at home. It's senior day, and you're being honored and recognized. So they want to go out of here a winner.
You mentioned getting some guys healthy, resting up last week. What have you seen from Isaiah Johnson, and do you expect him this weekend?
Yeah, I think we'll be full strength. I mean, knock on wood. I mean, this time of year, I mean, injury is just a part of the game of football. It's a physical sport, and it's got to be the next man up mentality, and we've done that all year long. I mean, Jordan Bond was having a great game last week, stepping in, and first time that we've gotten him healthy all year long. So now we've just created more depth moving into a very critical time of the year.
What have you mentioned him there? What have you seen in Jordan Bond's development because of Sam Hicks and Isaiah Johnson kind of leading their room?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. It's hard to replace old, right, and experienced, and those guys. They've been to so many battles. They're such playmakers, and just they're tough. They love playing the game of football. I mean, you look at Sam Hicks, and I mean, the guy touches the ball almost every other play. It seems like offensively, he's covering kicks, he's returning kicks. He plays on punt team. I mean, him and Nehemiah Martinez. I mean, they're little football junkies. They love the game of football. They love to play, and that's really what it's all about.
You touched on running the ball and getting the ball back to your offense this weekend. What are your other keys to the game?
Yeah, I think if you look at our last two home games, we've been I think we're +2 in the turnover ratio, or +3 if I'm not mistaken. Forced 3 turnovers last week, 2 against Central Arkansas, which was critical. And anytime you're playing quality opponents like Southern Utah, it's going to come down to 1 or 2 possessions, and when you can take 1 or 2 of those away from the opponent, it gives you a big advantage. And I think that's been the key to our victory and success here at home the last 2 times we've played.
I believe you're going to have your 31st straight start from Tayonta and Thielen and Hatton are right behind him there. What can you say to those guys in their leadership?
Yeah, I mean, it's like baseball, and you got to be strong up the middle. And when you got your center and your 2 guards have played that many football games, just the communication and making the calls and getting protections slid and the right call is invaluable. And it's hard to manufacture that. Obviously, it takes time, and man, those guys have been so consistent over the course of the last 3 years, and proud of what they've done offensively, and we just got to continue to do that here over the course of the next 4 weeks.
Just over the last 3 weeks, their running back Lamson has touched the ball 32 times, 37 times, 40 times. And those are kind of absurd numbers. What do those numbers show you about their offense?
Yeah, I think they plug him in at night. I mean, he's like a robot. I mean, that guy is he runs so hard. I mean, runs low to the ground, plays behind his pads, and just tough. I mean, like a lot of those, I'd love to know how many of those carries, like so many of his yards that come after the initial contact. I mean, very, very seldom do you ever see the first guy get him down on the ground, and he exemplifies, I think, what their program is about. They love playing hard-nosed, old-school football, and that's what they hang their hat on, and got nothing but respect. I mean, he's obviously one of the best backs in this league.